absolutely no regrets.
D&D has a massive pool of species to choose from to make you feel comfortable when you play. You may go with the classic fantasy pick of an elf or the alternative fantasy pick of a tiefling. Some people like to play dragonborns and some people like to stick to the human. But sometimes you really want to step away from the already amazing choices and play a species that feels more like you. So with the release of the 2025 Monster Manual, which is very good by the way, I decided I should go through and do something that I like to do personally and just make character species. So we're going to be doing some homebrewing today of the species. So we're going to be doing some homebrewing of the Monster Manual and we're going to convert them into playable species. I thought this could be like a fun ongoing series I have where eventually I go through the entire thing and make like over 100 playable species. Hopefully you'll get there. You know, if you want to see this series, drop a like. If you want to have me convert a certain monster in this manual into a playable species, also let me know in the comments. That being said, I'm probably going to stick to the things that like really make sense as playable species, so I probably won't be doing like the Tarrasque or something kind of ridiculous. That being said, today we are going to be converting one of my favorite monsters in the Monster Manual, which is the Arcanaloth. I always felt like the Arcanaloth really fit the vibe of a PC species, and so why don't we jump into that and get started? Arcanaloths are evil, and I won't say this every video, but if you're wanting to play these homebrewed species, you don't have to be chaotic evil. Play a lawful good Arcanaloth. Literally no one cares. As long as the table understands and is okay with it, you should play whatever makes you happy. Arcanaloths are really cool concepts. I've always liked them. I loved playing Planescape. Shout out Shimeshka. They are a bipedal fox-headed demon species. They are generally spellcasters as well. So I wanted to gear this species around being a spellcaster but leave a path open to being a martial class as well. As demons, they inhabit the lower planes and they are deceivers. And the Monster Manual says they bend their considerable intellect towards hoarding and exploiting secrets. To start off this homebrew, we have the general stats. They are humanoid, their size is medium, and their speed is 30 feet. To talk about the first ability they have, I generally like abilities like Fey Ancestry for elves or Gnomish Cunning, something that gives you an advantage for rolls or has to do with rolling a particular type of roll. So I wanted to give something similar to the Arcanaloth. So we have Fiendish Ancestry, not Fiendish Legacy, it's different. You add your proficiency bonus to all intelligence skill checks. This ability could be a good pick-me-up if you are a martial class as an Arcanaloth, or it could be a bump in power if you're playing a spellcaster. Generally, it's just helping skill checks, and that kind of can't hurt. Next, we have the Power of Gehenna, an ability like elves and tieflings that gives you spells on deck at no cost. Like elves and tieflings, you get your cantrip for free at level 1, and for the Arcanaloth, we have Message. I thought about doing the branching into different subspecies like the elf and like the tiefling as well, but I thought that you know what, that's a lot of work, and we're on episode 1, okay? Maybe you can expect that more later. If you want to do a subspecies for the Arcanaloth and change the spells that you get, you should do that. Just talk to your DM. It's really just fun. It's all for fun. Then at level 3, you'll be getting False Life. This spell will always be prepared and you can cast it once per long rest for free. The same going for Counterspell at level 5. Counterspell, very strong spell comparing it to what you get for picking the elf and the tiefling spells at level 5. I just generally felt like the evil-rooted Arcanaloth demons having Counterspell kind of fits, and it really is a fun thing to play around with. But most spellcasters take Counterspell anyways. Well, maybe not in 2025, but either way, it's just something that you get to have on your PC. Plus, being a martial Arcanaloth with Counterspell is kind of nasty, which is fun to do, and it's worth picking the Arcanaloth over something like a Goliath when you get Counterspell, you know? It's just a good balancing. Next, we have Restoration. In the monster manual, Arcanaloths have an ability called Fiendish Restoration. Just to read Fiendish Restoration right out of the book, it says, if the Arcanaloth dies outside of Gehenna, its body dissolves into Ichor, and it gains a new body instantly and revives with all its hit points in Gehenna. So obviously that wouldn't make sense for a player to have that exact ability, so I thought let's play around with this and make it fun at the table. As a reaction to making a death saving throw, you send a projection of yourself to make an action. This projection of yourself cannot attack or use the stabilize action, and this projection instantly disappears after making an action. I really got to work on like wording it to sound like Wizards of the Coast, because that just sounds like some dude on Reddit typed it. I understand that, and I really do want to get better at like just framing it and making the rules really pop in descriptions of things like this, but you get the general idea. You send a projection of yourself to do something while you're downed, and it's just giving you options when you're downed. I really feel like in D&D, you don't really have a lot of options when you're downed. You just make a death save and then hope for the best. So just an extra layer, especially since Arcanaloths do have that reviving aspect to themselves. Being able to kind of send yourself out and get one last thing in, like grab something off of the ground, unlock a door, do something heroic. You don't know, there's lots of different possibilities for this as well. I just thought attacking seemed way too overpowered, and then being able to stabilize yourself out of the death saves is also a little bit ridiculous. So lots to play around with, lots of different things you could do with something like that. And actually, that's it. That's it for the Arcanaloth. Only 3 abilities, because 4 would be ridiculous. All 3 of these are pretty strong. I would say if you're playing like a spellcaster, or the Arcanaloth is looking really appealing over a few of the other species in the player's handbook. But to that, I'll say that it's my fucking homebrew, and I don't fucking care. So I have so many more homebrews. I do homebrews all the time. They're just something fun I like to just think of in my free time. Big D&D nerd here. And I should just do this series more. I think I might try to record it a lot more. Hey, I really want to stick to the monster manual, and I want to convert them like this series is supposed to be, but I might slip in a few other like species homebrews that I have in my Google Docs. Like, I totally should just make videos on them, because somebody might enjoy them one day. There's nothing better than finding a homebrew in D&D that feels like you. That's just one of my favorite feelings. And that's it for today's video. Short, sweet. I'll probably do another one soon. If you want to see me convert one of the monsters in the monster manual into a playable species, please write it in the description, in the comments, anything. Just let me know what you want to see from me. Drop a like as well, and take care.